Hello, my name is Gregg Braden, and I am coming to you today from my office under the crystal clear blue skies, the cool thin air of the high deserts of northern New Mexico, just outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I want to begin just by first taking a moment to say thank you. Thank you for sharing a few moments of your day with me through this film, and to make the best use of our time, to honor your time. I'm going to get right to the point. I have a new book that I am releasing October 10th of this year. The title of the book is Human by Design, From Evolution by Chance to Transformation by Choice. And I want to tell you, our office is being inundated with questions about this book. What is it about? Why did I write it? Why am I releasing it now? Why do I think it's important? And rather than answering each of those individually, I thought I'd take a few moments to create this video and maybe help to answer some of those questions right now. You and I live our lives based upon the way we think of ourselves. We solve our problems, we choose our relationships, our self-esteem that determines who we feel that we are capable of having a relationship with, what kinds of jobs we feel we are capable of applying for and accepting, what kind of abundance we have in our lives, how we heal our bodies. As different as these all sound from one another, there's a common theme that runs through all of these, and that theme is simply this. The way we answer a single question determines the way we think about all those things I just mentioned, everything from relationships to healing. The question is simply this: who am I? Who am I as an individual? Who are we collectively? There are a lot of us in this world. And our answers, you can see, it's much more than simply a philosophical question, because it goes right to the core of everything that's happening in our lives, in our world, from the big picture, global scenarios, what's happening between the United States and North Korea, what's happening in the Middle East, to very delicate, very sensitive issues close to home, abortion, assisted suicide, the right to die, the death penalty, the increase in hate crimes that is happening exponentially throughout the world, hate based upon the color of our skin, hate based upon our religion, hate based upon our sexual orientation. The way that we solve our problems, the way that we heal our bodies when we're faced with disease. As different as these things appear to be from one another, the common theme that runs through all of them is our answers based upon the way we think of ourselves. Well, here's why I've written this book. You and I are steeped in a scientific story based upon the ideas of Charles Darwin that were first published in 1859, over 150 years ago. It is a story that leaves us feeling powerless, helpless, that we live in a world of separation, competition, conflict, and struggle. And those beliefs, consciously and subconsciously, are reflected throughout much of our lives and everything that I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago. But here's the story. New discoveries based upon peer-reviewed science, the best science of the 21st century, it's changing the human story. There's a new human story emerging, and it's a beautiful story of empowerment, of connection, of cooperation, and of deep, deep intuition, deep access to the subconscious, the ability for self-healing on demand, the ability to trigger high immune response on demand, the ability to trigger our own anti-aging enzymes that live within each of us on demand, the ability to create tremendous resilience to the change that's happening in our world on demand, and much more. All of this is the result of something that happened 200,000 years ago that science is only beginning to understand. Humans emerged, modern humans emerged 200,000 years ago with all of these capabilities already intact. The ability to self-regulate our advanced brains and our nervous systems in ways that have been previously thought to be reserved to mystics, to saints, to yogis, to adepts, living far away in monasteries on mountaintops where they take their whole lives, dedicate their lives to understanding these things. We don't have to do that anymore because the science is showing us how to access these abilities, and that's what part one of this new book is all about. How do we access these abilities in our lives? Number two, now that we know that we have them, how do we apply that access in our everyday lives in a meaningful way, in our relationships, our classrooms, and through our jobs, our business, and personally, what does this mean to us? There's a new human story that's emerging. And maybe Rachel Carson, the environmentalist and author in the 1960s, said this best. She said, "We only destroy the things that we don't value." and we can only value what we understand. Well, you and I know that human life is being destroyed at an unprecedented level that's happening right in front of our faces because we've been conditioned not to value life. We've been conditioned that we're the result of a random process of biology, that we are insignificant beings in this world. And that sense is at the basis of everything that we see happening in our lives that we'd like to change. When we begin to think of ourselves differently, we begin to value our lives differently, and we begin to steep our young people in an understanding of how precious their lives are and how unique and how empowered they are to live in this world, and we begin to feel safe in the world through our power, then we begin to fear less. And that fear plays out less on a large scale, whether we're talking about individuals or whether we're talking about nations. So this is what Human by Design is all about. This is why I think it's important right now. All of the well-intentioned efforts to fix the problems in the world today, they are band-aids. They are temporary until we get right to the core, the essence of what underlies these problems. And it all comes down to the way we think of ourselves. We've got to think differently than we ever have before. So I'm going to invite you to check out this book, Human by Design, From Evolution by Chance to Transformation by Choice. And after you check it out, let me know how you feel about it through our social media. How do you feel about the discoveries? What does the science mean to you? How's your life changed in the presence of this information? It took me 32 plus years to write the book. I hope it doesn't take you that long to read it. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for a few moments of your time today.